Here we go. For not the first time, for not the second time, but for the third time, we have Richie Arndt joining us on this stage. He not only told us about his first trip to Alaska, where he cavorted with naked Scandinavians camping, but he met the girl of his dreams. And then he told us about small Colorado mountain towns when you're broken down trying to complete the Colorado BDR and suddenly you're in Telluride with nowhere to get parts. And he is back here with, I feel, is probably the most fitting theme for this storyteller of a watch this. So please welcome to the stage Richie Arndt with his story. We don't know what it's going to be, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to fulfill the task at hand of a watch this scenario.
Okay, I'll warm them up a little bit. Listen, I promise that no one will be assaulted in this speech. There will be no fluids exchanged as our previous few speakers, but we'll get through it. I think you can hear my voice. I think I caught something from Walker von Ryder's speech. It's going around the room. Yeah, it's a bad case of ligma. Is this tall for anybody else? Just me? So our story really starts the year before the actual event. So that's 2018, what Rob Haynes was talking about, the Kentucky Kickdown. Local show, great time. Really hoping that comes back now that we're post-COVID. Really hoping that comes back. They had introduced an event called the Mud Drags. I had no intention of participating, but upon the egging of your friends, say, come on, do it anyway. Well, it's not their bike, they don't care anyway. So at the time I had an 88 NX 250, and off-road, it had quite the chops. A lot of power, lightweight, super fun to ride. So I said, mud is mud? Sure, why not? We go ahead and I said, I'll do the thing. So they put us in the mud drags, and at that point it was kind of like enter the mud drag and just go. There's no race, there's nothing. It's just a, can you do it? Way over my head. The mud is 3 feet thick. It's just clay at this point. So the NX is literally just spinning its gears. It's all kinds of sound and motion, but I'm only going about this far. Screaming in the RPMs. So I went home that evening very humbled, like maybe I don't know what I'm doing off-road, like what am I missing from this? So we're going to fast forward to the 2020 event, 2019. 2019 event, and they had the mud drags again. I said, I won't be made a fool of this time. And I thought to myself, what am I missing here? What's the go? It's the traction, tires, and you can go with a dirt knobby, but previous year I'd seen it really didn't help that much. And then I thought to all, like, you see the old hill climbers, and what are all the hill climbers? They're all like old V-twins, big parallels. They got long swing arms and a fucking sand paddle tire. So I said, I've got the bike for this. My daily rider is the same bike I took to Alaska, a V-twin 500. Plenty of power for this. And my boss at the time, Chad at Retro Wrench, a few of you know them. Yeah. He said, fuck it, man, like you have an 18, let's buy a sand paddle for it. So he sponsored me there. He's like, we'll buy the paddle. We get the paddle, I'm very excited. We mount it up to the swing arm and we go to put it in, and we're about 6 inches clearance off. It's too big for the swing arm. Now there's a big box part in the back, and I said, fuck it. We used the application of science to get the sand paddle to get traction. We immediately threw out that application of science and decided to cut out the swing arm, the thing that keeps the bike straight and keeps moving, on a drive shaft bike. The swing arm is what holds the drive shaft in. It was a huge risk. It was a huge safety risk. We were like, fuck it. You only live once anyway. So we immediately disregarded pilot safety. Huge risk reward thing there. So I show up the day of the event, and already they've been out there with a fire truck in this pit, just going nuts. Yeah, look, we'll hold the slideshow right there. This is me just getting into it for the first time, going, okay, maybe we're onto something there. We rode the bike to the event with a regular tire on it, and we had an extra set of wheels. So we put the extra set of wheels on, and getting to the pit was only about 100 yards. Never having a sand paddle on before, the area around it was very hard packed and dry, so I just hit the gas like I would normally ride a motorcycle. So immediately it went from whole time all the way there, and I found out that if you just punch it, there's like this buffer of spinning where it smooths out. I hadn't looked behind me about what that was doing, because the sand paddle is just scoops. A Gatling gun of mud and debris just spraying everything behind me. I'm hyped up, I'm tunnel vision, I don't hear people going, Jesus Christ! I'm like, I'm smooth, I'm butter smooth now, just wah! Still only going about 5 miles an hour. So I get in, and we get into this stuff. And I think the next few slides, if they want to let her rip, it became, Rob helped, where's Rob at? Where's our Care Bear? This year, I wanted to really hype up the crowd, and we needed a character for that. And that's when the character of the sleaziest sleaze of the 7 Seas was invented. Arrgh! We had about a 5-foot pole off the back with a flag hanging out. There was a whole pirate thing all up to it. And hearing the crowds chant, I mean, the event hadn't even happened yet. I was #1 in the slot. Hearing the crowd chant, sleaze, 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 sleaze. Instantly, I was like, forgot about that swing arm. Not even a problem. So getting the crowd warmed up and seeing getting the first warm-up rips and just throwing all the mud behind me. There were people out there, some kind of sadomasochistic thing, standing behind it hit me with more! So as we're mussing around, we haven't raced yet. This year, different formats, actual race, just start to finish. And I thought it would do better than the previous year. I had no idea what was about to happen. As I'm sitting there, it was like the song, engines thumping and pumping in time, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, and that's when the swing arm thing happened. I was like, I could just twist this whole thing in half right now. That didn't happen. They dropped the flag, and immediately it was just astronaut levels of G-force, just instant hookup. Had no idea what was happening. And I'm blasting away, and it was like the Matrix, just, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the zone. This is the thing, the Ford versus Ferrari, man, we're at $7,000. And then I'm in that slow motion bullet time, I'm looking next to me where the other guy should be, not even close. And I was like, oh my God, I'm winning. Instantly realized the end. There was no stop, there was no field. It was just the other end of the ditch and a wall with all of the hay bales. And for our visitors, we're gonna do an exercise. You're gonna say 3 letters in a row, R-N-R. Say it. R-N-R. R&R, we don't have any brakes. We had ditched the front brakes because the big knobby tire was too big to get in the swing and the front forks. So I'm going 50 miles an hour in a mud pit at a wall. I just don't know what to do. Throw it in first, instantly. It was like it was meant to be. Everything just slowed down. And it was just run after run after run. Nobody could keep up, and it was the dumbest thing ever. It was dirt bikes, it was T-dubs. One guy showed up on the only one I was worried about was this geezer on a 750 from the 70s. He had the same thought process. Paddle tire. Way too tall gearing. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, this guy might get me. And all of a sudden, he goes, wah! Sounds like a drag race. Revs to the moon, wah, conk. No ass to pull it through. So he just stayed there, and there I was, just a mud rocket. Gone again. Home free, no problem. So at the same time, every run, there was just a machine gun of mud on everybody. And there's like show bikes going by on the road behind us. They hadn't calculated one of us would be dumb enough to put the paddle tire on. So they've now installed road guards for the mudsling. I mean, you can look at the debris. Those chunks are mud paddle shaped. So in the mud drags, this had become an unstoppable force. Bikes cooling be damned. We definitely had the Giga Chad on a Harley. He just showed up on a Harley. He's like, it's not that hard. He went in, instantly ate shit, validated, loved that for me. So we got done with the mud drags, and there was one kid that he showed up. I think, Rob, do you remember how old that kid was? He was like maybe 13.
Oh, you're talking about the fireman's kid.
Yeah.
The
This guy saw the carnage, and he's on like an old KLX 80, I think the same bike you had. And he said, fuck it, he went in anyway. He did terrible, and we smoked him, but he gets points for spirit. So we got done with the mud drags, and we pulled up on at the tent for Retro Wrench. We did a pit stop for a wheel change. Oh no, we didn't, we skipped that one. So we went straight from this, where Rob was, into the burnout box. And I got a little bit of a burnout out of my system. That wasn't even on the radar yet. So, oh yeah, we burned out the paddle tire. I wasn't going to use it again. All right, let's hold the slideshow right there. So, did a little bit of a burn. It wasn't anything crazy. It was like, but it kept shaking the board. I didn't want to mess up anybody else's night. I was like, okay, we pull a. Go ahead and I think it's another like 2 slides. Oh, there's our young lad. There he is. Absolute unit. Terrible at mud drags. But man, did we make him feel like a hero that night. Okay, go ahead, another one. Bingo. We had pulled the paddle tire off. Yeah, there he is. There's your Care Bear. We had put the street tire back on, and we got another like pretty nominal burnout tire. And I saw everybody else going in, and we had a bunch of big cruisers and show bikes that were honestly a little worried about blowing up their bikes. I don't know why that would be a worry, Rob. And I wanted to see a proper pissed off burnout. So go ahead and go another 1 or 2. Yeah, we washed, sprayed it off, put the street tires in, and proceeded to literally send it to the fucking moon. Locked it up, and you can see here, I'm holding up 5 as in 5th gear, and then clicked up one more time for OD as in overdrive. And we did a little bit of road math, and the back tire would have been going at about 120 miles an hour road equivalent. And I just pinned it and held it there. And Rob, I think the unicorn's in the clouds somewhere. He lost lung capacity that night for sure. We proceeded to send that mother home and just let it sing until the back tire exploded. Where were we at here? So we did one more pit stop tire change after that, and the next morning led a charity ride for the event. And only a few people figured out, they're like, wait a minute, is this the bike from the mud drags? And you say, absolutely. And then that's when we like unfurled the big pirate flag and led them all out. So the whole point was, it doesn't matter like what you want to do, what you want to ride. There's a bike out there for it. There's a community of absolute cyclopaths that will enable you, and not just enable you, but to the same vein of these guys, they're going to help you get there regardless of, you know, this might not be the exact right part or the exact right thing to do, cut your swing arm out, but it will get you through. So the whole point of all of this, and I'm going to wrap it up because my voice is going real bad. The whole point of all this, and a thing I like to bring back every time, is that without events like these, like what Season's doing like this, your community will disappear. So I know everybody here is from different places. We've got Cincy people here. wherever they're currently going, staying, moving, they're from all over the place. You have all of these places and communities that you can expand your environment and this community and literally shape it into whatever you want. If you want whatever that is, there are people for it. You can usually find them because they're dressed like lunatics. But if you don't want that, like there's a thing, about half of you here have been to our Moto Monday event. Hello? Yes?
Yes, sir. No.
Well, that's your own fault. And there's off-road, there's on-road, travel. Moto traveling has been one of the things that has brought me to most of these people in this room that do know me and have been with me and have had me yelling at them on the top of the mountain. So go out, find stuff like what Season's doing, volunteer for what Season's doing. She's been a repeat offender here in Louisville a couple times now, actually just the once. But volunteer, tell your stories, even if it's just going to a meeting and telling it to a couple of your friends. Invite them out, get people on bikes. Without new people and new blood, this is going to disappear. I really feel like the adventure community has come in full swing because of this kind of stuff. Like sharing your stuff on media, showing that rad stuff is out there. That Genghis Khan thing was insane. That's some like Lord of the Rings shit there. So get out there, tell your stories, share stuff with your friends, share your bikes with your friends, get people riding. And again, thank you, Season, for putting all this together. Again, she's Chicago local, and doing all this all over the place is really tricky logistically. So give it up for Season. Do it harder. Do it hard.
Don't follow Richie, you won't make it.
Oh yeah, don't follow me, but follow me. We run a YouTube channel called ADD Dual Sport. We have adventures. There's plenty of videos of our invitational event where we take you off-road, we take you on road trips and stuff like that. We try not to kill you. Don't go to Colorado with us. That's a story for a different day. It's still too near to me.
That was the story I was expecting.
Yeah, we're not telling that story yet. It hurts real bad. Go follow that, get on your bikes, and go ride.
Get on your box and ride.
Again, thank you so much for coming out tonight, for all of our storytellers, from Walker's intense intro to Rebecca, to Rob, to Stu and Janelle, and finishing up with Richie tonight. He's right, this only continues to happen because people continue to support it. So please follow each other on social media and just get out there and be a part of it and share your stories. I'll be back in Louisville at a future date. We have incredible people that do travel back and forth from Louisville to Cincinnati and back down here. I'm highly impressed that people are willing to do the travel to come to this event. Deeply honored that you all make it out here for this. If you know someone who really wanted to be here and see this, I will be eventually uploading the videos onto the YouTube channel, so you can always check it back out there. And please share and just be a part of this. It's a lot of fun, and being up here isn't quite as intimidating as it could feel. So just really appreciate all of you coming out on this Thursday evening. Have a safe ride home, and we'll see you at the next one. Thank you so much.